Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at Night Parade of 100 Yokai. I got sent a review copy of this one. This is a competitive area control game with varied factions that also has a bit of the engine building of Wingspan, and it has a solo mode that I'm going to try out today. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some thoughts on the gameplay overall. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So in Night Parade of 100 Yokai, the different players will have these adorable little meeples, and they'll be putting them down on these different areas, and once their number of meeples in a space reaches the value of that tile, they get to replace it with one of their Torii gates, and when a single player has all 5 of their Torii gates down, that triggers the end of the game. And the players score victory points for different conditions. They always get 1 for each Torii gate they've placed down, but then you'll have different cards. There's a whole deck of these that will determine other victory points based on like how you built out your tableau and other things. Now, speaking of your tableau and how you put down these meeples and do other actions, you'll be adding cards, earth-toned, blue, and green, to these different rows, and then each round, each turn, you'll activate one of the rows and do all the powers of the cards from left to right. Basically, all of them are going to have a basic symbol to put down a meeple on different colored tiles. And then on future turns, you can't activate the same one you activated the last turn. You have to activate a different color, but then that one flips back. So you can go like back and forth between 2 colors, but you can't just keep on activating blue forever. And you'll have varied yokai cards available in these offers for different values. And at the end of each of your turns, you can recruit them by discarding the indicated number of spirit tokens, plus one of these little talismans that you can also get from your character actions. Now, I'm also playing with some expansions they sent me, the main one being the Cursed Throne. This has the same solo mode as the base game, but the rules have been cleaned up a little bit, so it is recommended to check out that rulebook even if you only have the base game. It also has this separate board and this separate special meeple, and they're going to be able to move around with one of the cards in your tableau and get these different bonuses when they land on places. And if they can get all the way to the top, then they get to capture one of these cards for more chances to score victory points and also getting access to different actions. And then your champion meeple here, if you've gotten to the top, gets to become an 11th meeple to go out on the board. That should be enough to get started. I'll explain the core rules and the different icons and things as we go. But let's get right to it, throw some spirits into the fray, and play a Night Parade of 100 Yokai. So in the solo mode, you always take the first turn. And you've got 3 unique cards to your faction. This is the... what are they called? The Gamanoke faction. So I've got these fun little frog dudes. And because of their first dude here, they are super good at getting spirit tokens to buy yokai faster. And then because I'm playing with the Cursed Throne expansion, I had to put my little champion person down in any row I want. They've got this little leaf symbol, which means they're going to be hopping around to different rows and not always staying in the same place. And in the solo mode, you draw a single one of these victory cards, and it's going to apply to both you and your opponent. So in this case, we're going to get 1 victory point for each Torii gate. That's always the case. We're also going to get an additional point for each Torii gate that does not have the opponent's Torii gate on it. Because while each player can only have 1 of their Torii gates on a given space, some of them will have a 2 here and some will have a 1. 2 meaning another player could also fit their Torii gate there. By the way, we're using the darker side of the tiles, which is used in solo and 2-player play, where the numbers are much more limited. With 3 or more players, you use the other side, and a lot more of you can fit in a place. And also, whenever you conquer a place, put your Torii gate down there. If you're the first one to go there, you get the bonus indicated here. Usually some spirit, maybe a token that might give you victory points, fun stuff like that. So yeah, with this card, we really want to be the first one in some places to get Torii gates. And then also, for every 2 people that create talismans, I'll get a victory point. So for example, right now, my green and blue starting people each give me a talisman. So that's a pair of them. So I have 1 victory point already. Good for me. All right, but let's go ahead and activate my most powerful row here. So I'm going to go from left to right. And each card, I'm going to go from top to bottom, activating their powers. In this case, I'm going to put a meeple down on one of the yellow islands and then get 3 spirits. Let's see, looking over here, we got a 3, 4, 5, and 6 spirit place. Let's try to start off early and get some of those doubled victory points for having a Torii gate. This 3 spot can only hold 1, so let's put our first meeple there. Now, very important rule in the game. In a given turn, you can only place a meeple on a given tile once in that turn. So even if I had more yellow placements right now, I'd have to go to these other spots I couldn't place here again. Also, you might notice this super valuable 7 fire tile here. You can't place on there using the general rules. Instead, there's a feather icon. You'll see that on the cats that I'm facing off against, and you have to move your people in there to try to capture it. But anyway, that's my placement. And then I'm getting 3 more spirit, which is great, but no talismans. And now I'm going to do my champions. So first I get to move them on the little champion board, which will fix that no talisman problem I had. So they're going to move there. They can move to any adjacent spot. And they can even go backwards if you want, if you don't want to make it all the way up to the throne. And I'm going to get a talisman, which will then let me buy or recruit a yokai in a second. And then they have the leaf, which means I have to move them to my shortest row, which means I can go to blue or green. And I think I'm about to buy a level 6 yokai, so let's see. So once per turn, before you purchase your yokai, you can discard both of the cards available for one of the 3 values. So if I don't like these, although I really like, this dragon is great. Those are the wing icons that let you move people. That's a fist icon that lets you knock other people out of your spaces. This one's really good too. These little ghost symbols let you summon Shikigami that are like temporary cards. Basically, you get to recruit a card and then like just throw it in once, but it's one-time use. And they also have a punch. But yeah, I really like the green dragon, so I'm not going to discard anything. But I'm going to move this dude to green because then when I get the dragon, I can activate this row and it'll be awesome. So then I am going to my recruit phase, and I'm going to buy this dragon. Anybody you recruit goes to the right. That costs 1 talisman. It's always 1 talisman. And then this is a 6 value dude. So that's everything I got, but I got a big, big boy right off the bat. And whenever you recruit or discard cards, you immediately refill. Ooh, we got a pretty solid blue there. And they'll bounce around. That's kind of cool. Now, at the end of my turn, if I had any tokens that are talismans or Shikigami, or I forget what this one is, but it lets you flip your opponent's cards face down so they don't activate. Any of those will get converted into spirit. You can only keep spirit at the end of your turn. And the conversion rate is half the tokens you're getting rid of, rounded up. So, like, often you'll have just a single talisman left, and it's half rounded up. It'll get you 1 spirit for later. So these tokens, if they aren't used, they go away. You never keep them turn to turn. And then the other step I would usually follow at the end of my turn is to flip whichever one I didn't use this turn, which does nothing right now, but after I do green next turn, brown will flip back over. So that's it for my turn. Let's get to the Automa. All right, so I'm going against, I think it's King Yama, or Enma. Yama is China, right? Enma of the Underworld. And they have different factions you can control for different difficulty levels. I'm going against the medium faction, which is the cats. So what are they called? The Neko Mata, old powerful cats with 2 long tails. And they are ultra movie, and the AI really likes moving to get Torii gates faster. And then the victory card is going to give them bonus points for having a lot of Torii gates. Not loving my chances here, but my dragon might even the scene a little bit. Now, you can't even go hard mode where they control 2 factions. They start with 2 cards in each row. That seemed a little intense for me. Let's start out with 1 here. Now, the first thing you do on Enma's turn is turn over the top level 1 yokai, the cheapest ones, the 2 spirit ones, and you add it to the appropriate row. Oh, man, it's already his longest row, you butt. And then King Enma activates the longest row that is not inactive, so not the one that they activated the last turn. So there we go. They're going to do their brown row. And then they're going to resolve stuff just like me. Now, they don't care about spirit. They don't care about talismans, but they'll do something for every other icon. So let's walk through. We'll do it kind of slowly the first few times. So first, they're going to place somebody in a yellow spot. Then they'll activate their champion. For them, they actually put down their champion instead of moving on the little board like I am. And then they'll place somebody else. They're also going to get to move and punch and move that person around. Lots of fun. So where do they want to go with their first kitty placement? So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 options of yellow, the same places that I was going to. And their first tiebreaker is where I have a meeple. So, yep, there we go. And by the way, you can like mark with extra spirit tokens or something where people have gone, since they're actually going to place 3 people. That might be helpful for me. Okay, then his kitty, you can see in the upper right there, has a wing icon. That would let you move any meeple to an adjacent spot. But in this case, he wants to move to the place that is the closest to being conquered and also to a place that has my people. So I think he's going to ignore moving because he's literally where he wants to be. Okay, next he's going to place his champion meeple, and then this card will shift to another row. He would love to go there, but he's not allowed to, so instead he's going to go to a different yellow. And for the champion, he wants to go to the spot that is the closest to becoming sacred, which would be the 4. There we go. All right, and now this one's going to slot to the shortest one, and he prefers reading order for most things. So, like, top is first preference. So it'll go down there. And then finally, this bugger here is going to go on another yellow spot. And again, he can't go where people have already been placed, so he'll go to the 5. And then he gets to punch somebody, which means anywhere that our meeples are sharing, he can knock one of mine out. So, awesome. I'm literally not on the board. Thanks, King Enma. But we shall have revenge. All right, now it's my turn, and yeah, we'll obviously activate green. So I just, they say to, like, flip the other one at the end of your turn. I forget which one I'm activating, so I'm doing this. So I'm going to get to place a green and get a talisman, then get to move my dude on the little board, and he'll slot over somewhere else. And then I'll get to place another green, punch somebody if possible. I don't think it will be, and then move up to twice. All right, so green, green, green. Oh, I guess I'll try to do the same thing that didn't work over here and get to the cheapest one first. And that dude's giving me a talisman. Then for my champion, I'm going to move on to this fire. That's called a rain action. And you resolve the topmost card of the throne, and then it swaps to the bottom. So in this case, it says, I am going to get 2 spirit energy, and then every other player gets 1 spirit energy. Oh, it's so sad, Solo, dude, that you don't want energy. How terrible for you. Okay, so that slops down. And this one jumps. I mean, I'm a simple man, I think. I want all that spirit energy there. Thanks. And then finally, I'm doing dragons, so I get to do a green, a fist, and 2 wings. Oh, crud, crud, crud. I was planning to, like, use the wings to double up here, but I just realized all the greens are over here except for that one. So, never mind. Let's go here with my first green placement. And now with the second green placement, I'll go here. And then I can't punch anybody, sadly, because I'm not sharing a space with anybody. And then for the 2 wings, I'll just use one of them and ignore the other and double up there. I only need 2 more to capture that island. All right, and now I would love to get brown going a little bit more, but currently both the level 1s I can buy are blue. So I'm going to discard them to the bottom of the deck and draw 2 replacements. Again, you can do that once per turn for one of the numbers. Those are not the colors I wanted. So yeah, I could either buy one of those, which I'm not sure I want, or I could let the talisman time out, and I would gain spirit equal to half the tokens rounded up, so I'd get a 3rd spirit. Then this would get me 6 spirit, and I'd be prepped to buy another big one again. See, I'm not going to buy anything, and I'll get a 3rd spirit here. All right, so cool. And we come over to Enma. They get a random level 1, which is a green. And then they're going to activate their longest row that isn't brown. All right, so in this case, it's tied, and he prefers the one with his champion card in it. And if that's not available, he prefers the topmost one. So either way, it's going to be blue. So we'll go ahead and flip blue there. So they're going to place a person on a blue tile and then move and then place their champion, which means they would have to pull him off of another tile. So I think they're only going to do that if it would improve their position. And then he'll stay here because it is currently tied for the shortest row. That's first, the blue placement. I'm not on any blue, so they don't have that as a tiebreaker. The next thing is they want to go somewhere where they already have people. That doesn't apply. So they're going to go right there for their first one. Now, they're in sort of a weird place where none of their movement actually gets them better, but it does say they want to move to where they'll be sharing meeples with me. So I guess they could move this one or this one into my people. All right, sorry, I had to pause for a second there and go check on BGG. The designer did answer a question about movement priority, and it's basically inverse priority. They're only going to move to a new place if it improves their position. So in this case, moving the 3 to a 4 is not as good for them as moving a 4 to a 4. So they're going to move their champion over here because they do still prefer to be where I am. Okay, but then they're going to place the champion meeple and, again, not move the card. And the champion meeple has its own priority that's a little bit different from the other meeples because it can be placed on any type of island. So they say it wants to go to the one that's the closest to being completed. So these are both tied, and anytime you have a complete tie, again, it's a reading order. So he's going to go up there, which means next time they activate water, they'll be able to finish that one. And that'll be it for them. All right, so back to me. Definitely going to do brown again. So first I get to place on a yellow island and get 3 more spirit. Let's see, which yellow island do I want to go to? Do I want to compete with them here? They don't have anybody to move over, whereas, I could rush in. My blue guys move over, so sure. Let's go there. And I'm getting 3 more spirits. I'm at 6 again. Okay, now I can move my champion, and then he's going to swap over to blue. And actually, I kind of want to buy somebody this turn, and I have a talisman. So let's go down here and get one, even though I'm getting further away from the top. And I can 4 to 6, but they're both blue, which I guess I could activate now that my champions move there. But let's see what other options we got. Is this guy green? Give me double talisman, which is not really that great, and a rain action, which will vary. Or this dude would go over here. These ones let you again shut down and turn over their cards, so it would like stop them from doing actions I don't like. And a fist. I like that guy better. So let's go ahead and buy him. Oh, wait, I forgot that. Talismans, you get me victory points. This guy is literally a victory point straight up, which is like as good as getting an entire Torii Gate down. But man, I think that's a better action for me. Forget you, Torii Gate guy. I'll get you later, maybe. Right, back to Emma. Crazy Fool just won't stop recruiting. Oh, I guess we're activating green. So, they're going to be locking down my guys a little bit. Okay, so they're going to place on green. They skip the that, but then they get to move twice. So placing on green, they want to be where I am. Well, that's my guy. What am I doing? Hi, cats. Now, this is interesting. He's getting 2 movement at once, and I'm not entirely sure whether when you're evaluating, because you're supposed to go to the place that will get the closest to being completed, whether you evaluate each move individually or the combination of 2 moves, because if it's a combination, boom, boom, we can get right there. I think that makes more sense, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So these meeples come back, which is, good for them when they activate their champion again. They get the first Torii Gate. They don't care about the bonus of a spirit, but now they're the only one who can go there. So they've already locked in 2 sure victory points, which is, perfect. Okay, now they're going to get 2 more green placements and get 2 of these. I'll explain how those are used in a second. It happens at the end of their turn. And they already went there, so nowhere else that I'm located. So they'll go there and there. All right. So for each banished token, they can flip 1 level of yokai. And even though you can't see the levels anymore, like you can't see the 6 cost, it's equal to the number of icons they have, except the placement. So like this dragon is a 3. So they can combine them. So like 3 of these tokens could flip 1 of my 3 guys. And that means whenever I do that row, they don't do anything. I do get a talisman as compensation, and then they flip up. So they're just like disabled for 1 turn. Now here's the interesting thing. They can't use banished tokens on starting cards. And I didn't even plan this. Everybody else I have is a level 3. So guess what their level 2 or their 2 banished tokens do? Absolutely nothing. And I am in love with that. Let's keep that going. And so with that, it's coming back over to me. And I could activate either of these. They do have people on the same space as me. So let's go ahead and do green and punch them in a second. And so I get a green placement and a talisman. Although I'm not going to be able to do anything with it, so it'll just become a spirit. And I'm definitely going to try to finish that Torii Gate off. And then my dragon's giving me another green placement and a punch and 2 moves. Okay. So let's maybe go here for my green placement. Punch this guy, since that's pretty close to being finished. And then 2 moves. I don't need both of them. I'll just go here. And that will get me my first Torii Gate. And I'm getting 2 free spirit. Thank you. And I do have a talisman and 2 spirit. I could activate blue, or I really want to activate brown. Let's discard both of these, see if anything more interesting pops up. Another fighting dude? They don't really have anybody on brown right now, though, so I'm not sure if I'd actually be able to do any fighting. So that might not be worthwhile, but it does get me more people on the board. Or I could go for talismans, because it's literally victory points. Or I could just not buy anything and let that turn into a third. Let's buy the Doggus. Maybe I'll just ignore my champion's spot and activate brown and green mostly. Going back over to Emma. What you got? Got a blue, which means they're going to activate blue, which I guess they would have done anyway because the champion was there. All right, so they're going to place in blue and then move. So first you want to go where I am. Then they want to go to the, and I'm not in any blue. Then they want to go to the easiest one to complete. They're going to ignore ones where they already have a Torii Gate because they can't do anything. So there we go. That's their first placement. And then they can move somebody, which would definitely be from here to here because this has my person in it and it's easier to complete. So they definitely want to be there. And then they get to put their champion down. They want the quickest to complete, which would be one of these 2. So they'd go in reading order and pick that. And then champion's going to... Yes, so you count the length of it before they move. So this is a 3 and that's a 2, even though it just swaps the length. That still happens. And then finally, they're going to get blue with that guy. And they would prefer the 5. Where is the 6? Oh, there it is. Okay, so they'll prefer the 5 there. I'm just using these to mark where I've already placed things. And they're getting 1 of these banished tokens. And now they can actually make it go off. Fido, no! But again, it's going to give me a talisman, which is almost better because I'm going to get, when I activate it, the spirit from that guy. So yeah, I don't mind that. All right, we're kind of fighting over the yellow island, so let's go ahead and activate this row for me. So I'm going to place yellow, get 3 spirit, place yellow, get some banish and fighting, and then just get a talisman. So certainly going to try to jump in here. That's my first one. And then my meditating froggy gets me 3 spirit. And then for the mystical dog kind of dude, let's go here, I guess. Then I get 2 banished tokens, and I get to punch somebody. Boop, get out of here. And then my good boy comes back and gets me a talisman. So I could not use any of these, the banish and the talisman, and I'd get, again, spirit equal to half their number rounded up, so I get 2 spirit. Or I could banish one of their level, or 2 of their level 1s, or 1 level 2. Oh, that's right, they only have level 1s. This could actually be pretty good. Yeah, you know what? Let's, because they don't get talismans, I just realized. So actually, banishing is like extra powerful against the solo, isn't it? I'll go ahead and flip him down so he can't punch me. And I don't mind their banishing as much, but let's just flip one of the greens down so they can't do as much with that color. And now, do I want to buy somebody? Ooh, I love movement. I'm getting it. I'm definitely getting that. Although I'm making my like 1 row very long, I'll be able to activate it for a while. So it might not be the best option, but we'll say it's fine. Ooh, there's another one. All right, Enma, what you got? That's another green, so they're going to activate green. So they're placing in green and then getting 2 wings. So let's see. Oh, well, boop, there's the first placement, and they immediately get the Torii Gate. Definitely good for them. And yeah, they once again ignore the bonus for it, but it's a lot more victory points. Okay, now they get 2 movement, which first one they would prefer is definitely here. Although I think I'll be able to grab that before they can do anything, hopefully. Then for their second movement, this dude, none of these are better, so I don't think they're going to leave there. And that dude, yeah, also doesn't really care because that's the only place they can get to that would be easier for them to conquer. So we'll skip that. Okay, then they flip this guy for nothing. They get a banished token. Oh, and they get to put another green down. All right, so they don't want to go there because I already have it, so they'll go here as their next preference. And then for their last one, they'll go to the only spot they can, all right? And now this icon is a hide symbol. It lets you flip a meeple over, and if they would get punched with the little fist icon, they instead just flip over, so it kind of gives them the protection. Or you can use that to move your hidden meeples. For the AI, they just hide the meeple they just placed. So that cat is looking at the island really closely. And he's got 1 banish, and it's going to be the dog again, because he always goes for the longest night parade. Although, again, that's the only one that even has anybody can target. And then within a night parade from left to right of eligible people. That brings it back to me. I mean, really can't argue with dragoning. So we'll do green, talisman, green, punch, wing, wing. Good, I can wing in there to finish that spot off. But only if I go there. So let's green here, and then I get a talisman. I'm about to capture that. I don't need to go there. That one's already taken, so I guess I'll go where this little hiding dude is. Okay, I can punch somebody. I'll punch this dude before I leave. I don't want to really care about punching the hidden one. And then wing-a-ling in here to finish that off. Now, his dude's still there. He just can't really do much. I get a thing as well, by the way. And I still have 1 more wing. Ooh, and I'm probably about to activate brown. So yeah, let's do that. I have a reasonable chance of finishing that off soon. And yeah, usually I don't like buying the cheap ones, but I love wings, so I'm not going to say no to that to make my green row longer. I'll just keep being a jerk and ignoring blue completely. Although at some point, those are the only islands that are easiest to conquer, so it'll be kind of smart to switch over. All right, Enma, you're getting a blue. But when it's tied, they prefer the row with the champion in it. So they are going to do this. First, doing the yellow placement. And they want to be where I am. So that would take precedence. Their next preference would have been to where they already are. All right, so he really wants to get people to the 4s. And then he wants to be where I am. So I think he can move hidden people even without using the hidden icon. And I think he stays hidden, maybe. So there we go. They're doubling up there. And then their angry dude flips here. And then they get to place their champion anywhere. They want the one that's closest to completion. So yeah, they're going to go there. It's a race. That can only hold 1 Torii Gate. And the champion is not going to move. Okay, so can I possibly get in there before them? I'm not so sure. Well, clearly, in any case, I want to do brown, because that's where the action is. For my first brown, heck yeah, let's go. And they can punch them. Man, this is going to be something. And I'm getting 3 spirits. And now my little dog is letting me place somewhere else. Dang it, I can't get next to there for my last wing action. That's a bummer. No, that's fine. I'll go here, I guess. I get 2 banished, and then I get to punch something. Let's punch this vulnerable meeple. I want to punch their champion, because That way, if they get their champion activation again, it's going to be kind of wasted. And then I flip this dude and get a talisman. Finally, our friend here is not going to be able to save me because I don't have anybody adjacent. So I can, I don't know. I mean, if I activate green, I can easily move in there next turn. So yeah, for now, we'll just go there instead of to the gate place that we already have. Then I have one movement. Do I want to move one anywhere? Yeah, like I said, we really might want to switch to some blue activations because we're running out of spots here. Or maybe I move this dude over and try to, like, slam some extra people into that space. Yeah, that might work. All right, now I can buy, and you know what? I really like this little weak cat dude to get me some spirit generation in green, which I have none of right now. Although I am filling up my row with kind of weak people. And now I can banish some of their dudes again. Let's see, they're almost certainly going to activate green again. So, I don't know, let's stop them from messing up my own people, maybe? All right, that brings us back to Enma. By the way, I haven't used these cards yet, but this is if they did a rain action, they do whatever's on top, and then they swap it to the bottom. So, like, if they ever activate blue again, then we'll see that in action. But nope, they are definitely doing green. So they're doing their super good one, green, and then 2 movement, which could be bad for me. Where do they want to be with green? No, no, yes, and 2 movement. I guess they would do that. And then this guy can't improve their position. This guy I guess this one would move out. And then out of these 2 options and that one, they prefer to be there since it's left more. I think that's how they would do it. Okay, and then nothing. Then they're placing and hiding somebody, which they prefer to be here again. Then they're placing and this card's moving. So, they don't really care about 3 and 4, but they got to place anyway. So I guess since they're equivalent, they'll use the reading order thing and go there, which, oh god, they're all around me, help. But I got my dragon. I can go in there. Everything will be fine. And then this dude's swapping to, I guess that one. All right, so no question about this. Let's activate green. So I'm going to get 4 green placements, a lot of movement, some punching. It'll be great. All right, so green number 1 can go there because I want to move him. I get a talisman. Okay, and then green number 2 gets to punch somebody. This guy. Get out of there. But first I gotta actually put down the green guy. I mean, I'm gonna have to go to every green spot, so it's not really much of a choice when I have 4. Okay, so then I punched. I already did that, and then I can move. Let's move him in. And that will finish that one up. Gives me 2 spirit energy. Awesome. 3 Torii gates. 2 more will trigger the end of the game, although since I went first, the Altoma would get another turn after that. Okay, now I get to move again. Let's get you here. And then I had another green placement. We'll go there, and it's my birdie, so they'll let me move. Ooh, yeah. We are going to get that soon, hopefully. And then I get my final green. There should only be 1 option. Yep, there it is. And I get another spirit energy. Ooh, now I can actually get it at level 4, can't I? What we got? A move and a leaf. I don't really care about that. And then again, a talisman that could be worth victory points to me, and a rain. Let's swap these out and see what other options I get. Oh, it's all blue. Ooh, but it's a really good blue. I mean, again, I probably should activate blue at some point, so sure. Let's get this weasel dude. Maybe someday I'll get to move my champion again. All right, and Enma's getting, gosh, another green. But they can't activate that, so they're going to do brown. Okay, it's first brown and a movement. No. No, because they can't fit another Torii gate there. Yes, that's where they're oh, actually, wait, hold on. They first want to go where I have people, but then they want to go where they already have. Oh, that's not brown. What am I talking about? Where's brown 6? Yes, okay, they're definitely going here. Okay, then they can move 1. And it looks like to me like they definitely want to move some people into here or there. Yeah, first priority is somewhere they can build a Torii that they're closer to completing, which would mean here, and they'd rather move to there. Okay, so that's their first movement. Okay, now they got another yellow placement and a punch. So they prefer to go to the one that can actually still get a gate. And the first tiebreaker for where he punches is where we're the closest to completing things, which would be here. All right, that's annoying. Okay, then he gets to put his champion anywhere. Interesting. And he wants to go to the quickest place to be completed for them, which, yeah, is going to be there, right? Yep. And their champion's going to jump over here. And interesting, this is a green placement in the yellow row, where they want to be for green. Probably that one, because, yep, that's where they want to be. Because, yeah, actually, both of these have them and us, but for the one that's closer to being done. Man, they got a lot of people on the board. And their monkey friend here is not moving, so we'll stop there. All right, back to me, and yeah, brown wins the day, I think. It's gotta. So, yeah, we're gonna do a few things. Let's get into it. So first brown placement without question is here, and I'm definitely gonna punch that dude away in a second. And I'm getting a 3 spirit. Then my little doggy dude. Where you go? Where are you going to go? Well, I guess for now I'll go up here. And then I get to punch once. Boop. And I get 2 of those banished tokens. And I get to place again. I don't know. I guess here is kind of close to things. And I get to punch again. They're closer to doing something here. Let's knock that one away. And finally I get a last placement. Where have I not gone yet? Over here. Then I can move once. If I activate green next turn, I can put somebody there, and then I got like 3 wings. So I should be able to fly all the people I need over. So if I'm going to move, maybe let's go there. Maybe try to work on those 2 for my last gates. All right, and this time I have no talisman, so I can't buy anybody, but I could banish some people. And they're almost certainly about to activate green, and we are fighting over green. So let's banish. I don't mind them having 1 banisher. I'm realizing because that's gives me the talisman. So let's banish the guy that like protects their dudes. And back over to them. All right, yep, that locks in green as their longest. So, I hate this moving guy. Now, they only have 3 meeples left, so they might, I guess no, they're only placing 3 this turn, but they would have to maybe pull some people off spaces. And its first green they want to go to is definitely here. Then they get to move twice. That sounds problematic. Oh, they definitely want to go there to finish that one off. Boop. That gets them that. That's 3 for them. And then right here, right? They need 3 to finish there. Nothing else is even close. I don't know. I guess they'd bring in the protected one. Kind of makes sense. Okay, this dude flips. And this one's getting them a banish and a placement, which is going to be up here. They flip this one, and this one's getting them another placement. Yeah, so again, I think they would prefer that out of the 2 options. Yeah, so crap, I don't think I'm going to be able to rush them down here and also win there. Maybe I do this one first, because no one's fighting me over there, so I kind of have a run of the chicken coop. Well, we'll see how things go. But they're going to banish me, and they actually have 2 longest rows now, which means they go topmost and leftmost. Bye-bye doggy again. But that's fine, because I think this is going to work. I think I can steal that spot right from under them. Although, wait, I guess not, because it's a 2 level, so they can still place there, but that's fine. So yeah, boom! Put down, let me take away the things that show where they placed. But yeah, boom, put down a froggy, and I get a talisman. Then here's the big one. Boom, put a froggy there. And I get to fight. Or do I want to fight? Yeah, I guess I'll slow them down from getting their Tory here. And then I'll move him in 1 and him in 2. Heck yeah. So they stay, but I've got my gate there. And since I was first, I get 2 spirit, and this is a little random token. And they're either going to be a victory point or, 2 spirits. And that was good because I was out of meeples, but now I have one again, so I can put one and then move them. Oh, this is beautiful. Yes. And then 1 more green. I guess up here is my only option. And I get another spirit. Gosh, I'm rich. Damn, look at this. Whew. By the way, if you have extra talismans, you can buy more than 1 spirit on your turn. But yeah, I've got 8. I'm about to activate brown. But I could just get this guy for the victory point because I have a very good chance of getting my last Tory. Which means, I don't really care about the activations. I am going to buy this guy just because he has 2 of those talisman symbols for a victory point. I think that's the way to go. So there we go. Still have 2 left. All right, King Emma, I think you're not long for the underworld, baby. But you are going to, activate blue. Interesting. I think that's probably better for me, right? Probably less dangerous because I'm not competing in blue. Okay, first dude, place and move. They want to go, no. And yes, there we go. And then they can move somebody. So they want to go to the quickest place to complete, which is here. Yeah, because that only needs 3 more. And then these are kind of equivalent, so they'll come from there. Oh, sorry, let me get these off. So where they place? They place there already. Okay, next is this guy. They're going to place on the 6, and then they'll get one of the banished tokens. I know they're going to do the first rain. But first, they're going to place on the 3 or the 4. 4 is more leftmost, so there we go. Oh no, and their current rain is 2 movement. What a butt. Yeah, that's going to work out for them. So that'll be the first move, but they're not quite done. And then, they can move this guy here. That's the next closest they can complete. And then it's going to work out well for them. They get to put their master dude. Now they only get 1 point there because I'm already there. They don't get to draw the bonus things, but hey, guess what? I don't get my 1 point bonus anymore either because now we both have a Tory gate there. Then this guy's going to move to that spot. And finally, 1 more blue placement and will not move. I believe, there's only 1 left. There we go. All right. So we're doing good. I think this is going to be the last turn. Well, yeah, I mean, duh, how could it not be? Boop. So, gonna get to place a dude down. That'll finish off that one space. And then I guess I just want to buy people that has talismans. So yeah, placement 1 goes there. And whoosh. Last Torii Gate, that'll trigger the end of the game. We're getting a bonus 2 spirit and another one of those tokens. This time it's a victory point. We're also getting 3 spirit from him, so we should have some good purchasing options. Ooh, you know what I just realized? They would have banished somebody. But lucky me, it would have been this bird down here because that's my longest row. But yeah, now I'm doing this guy. And yellow. Where else can I go yellow-wise? Up there. And I get 2 banished and I get to fight somebody. The only fighting I would care about is anywhere that they can potentially get a Torii Gate next turn. They have even odds of activating like either of their spots. It'll probably be brown. So let's, I don't know, lock out this guy just to be safe. Okay, then Doggy flips over and gets me a talisman, which is great because I didn't have any. And then finally, bird. Where are you going to go, bird? You can fly afterwards. Maybe I'll go in here to be able to like punch them. Well, that's right. I'm not getting another turn, so who cares? Yeah, whatever. Okay, and the last thing I can do of consequence is try to buy something to get more talismans. So let's flip these in. If we get a double one, we'll buy it. If not, we can buy one of the 4s. Not so much luck. Okay, so yeah, I'll buy one of these. I only have 1 talisman, so even though I have extra spirits left over, it's not going to help me at all. But I do get that guy. And then I got 2 banishes. And yeah, I'm not sure which one they're going to activate. Well, let's take a guess. I guess if they draw a brown card, they'll activate brown. If they draw a blue card, they'll activate brown because the champion's there. And if they draw a green card, they'll activate green. So it's a 2/3 chance for brown. So let's take out their puncher. And all these are the same. Oh, I think green's almost completely conquered already. So let's do that one. And all right, that takes us to the final turn. I'm pretty sure we got this in the bag. And it's blue, which does nothing at all. Okay, so let's see what we got. They're going to place some yellow. Okay, where do they want to go? Where do they go? I guess they want to go up here, the only one that's not taken. Okay, then they can move 1 there or there. Those are entirely equal in every way, so they'll do the leftmost one. Then they flip this guy. They're placing in green now. Ooh, that actually works out well for them, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it's the only green they'd want to place in. Then he doesn't swap, and they get to place in... Oh, no, this is the guy who flips, so he just flips over. Okay, and then finally, where do they want to go? I guess... that would be 2 away from completion. That would be 2 away from completion. We're in both spots. So yeah, I think they'd go to the upper leftmost one. So they were close to finishing their last gate, but let's go and check our victory points. So first for them, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Torii Gates, 4 victory points. 5, 6, 7, only Torii Gates on an island. And then looking at this, I don't think they got that many talismans. 1? Oh, 2. Okay, so that was 4, 7, 8 victory points. Yeah, I definitely crushed them. Going to me, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Already got them. Plus my talismans. So that's 10 for that pair. 11. I didn't get another one. And then with this, that's 12. So that was 8 to 12. But again, I could have given them an extra card in every row to start, plus still having their champion with the hard mode. That certainly would have made things quite a bit more hectic right from the start. They would have been putting down a ton of meeples. All right, but with that play done, let's talk about my thoughts on Night Parade of 100 Yokai. So first, let's talk about the game in general and the competitive play. First of all, let's talk about the components, because this is from the same designer and artist and publisher as Keep the Heroes Out, which is a game I really enjoy. You once again have friggin' adorable meeples. You have lovely art. I'm a mythology teacher and someone who really enjoys Japanese mythology especially, so seeing all these like representations of these yokai is really fun. And the art for the tiles is really nice too. I will note that some of my cards have bowed, mainly the ones from like the smaller expansions, I think it was. Just a little bit, but enough that you might want to like have sleeves. And also I think one of the expansions, the cards didn't have the exact same size as the others. Again, not a big deal if you just deal shuffle like I do or sleeve them, but could be annoying if you don't do any of those things. And then like my island tiles were bowing just a little bit too, like nothing too terrible. They still sit on the table flat and they're visible and everything, but just something a little note. But just something to note. But yeah, love the art, love the components in general. Definitely a nice appearance of the game. Then getting to the main mechanic of building out your rows. This is very similar to Wingspan, to Wormspan, or Raising Robots that I covered recently. Basically like a tableau builder, but in different sets. And I think this works well. It's fun to get icons. It's fun to kind of build little combos of things to get different powers in different games. Now, I will note that in the 1 and 2 player game, which, by the way, is the way I think the game is weakest, not bad, just weakest. In the 1 and 2 player game, it does feel like it's easier to just hyper focus on 2 colors. Whereas I've found when you're in 3 and 4 player, then islands tend to like fill up faster and you want to be doing colors that other people aren't doing. So then it makes a bit more sense to kind of swap back and forth between all 3 colors. So just a minor note that I think the game is a bit more interesting in the combos you build when you have 3 or more players. And also another thing that's kind of fun, but also kind of not amazing. If you've played Keep the Heroes Out, you know that that one has like really cool variety in the characters. Like the dragon with a single meeple is very different than, I don't know, the slimes or like one of the other horde groups that comes on the game. So this one has a very similar mechanic where like you start with specific cards for your faction, but then you build it out. But here the number of cards is way smaller. You just have these 3 starting cards, plus maybe your champion, but all of those are identical. And then you build up. So you can keep the heroes out just for comparison, since again, it's the same designer, even though it's not really the same type of game. I think the factions feel very different throughout the game, whereas here the factions become less and less unique as the game develops. Now, the combos you build will still be unique, and the colors you focus on will change. But yeah, like me being the frogs and them being the cats mattered less and less as the game went on. So if you're somebody like me that loves faction diversity and variety, it's still here kind of, but it's not as strong as in other games you've seen. But yeah, the actual combos, building, deciding when you want to like buy the cheap units or save up for the bigger ones, because getting a ton of powers is really big, like really has a major effect on the game. But getting a bunch of cheap units quickly will let you just flood meeples onto the board, but then you only have 10 meeples plus your champions, so flooding them on the board is not necessarily a great strategy because you can't like really do anything with them. So there is a nice give and take between like buying big and buying small. And the board play is fun. Now, like I said, it's better with 3 or more players. It's just more interesting. There's more going on. Like the powers and interactions and things are just, this is the kind of game it is. It is a area control, like fight over territory kind of game. So it's just always going to be more interesting with more players. But I still think 2 is fun. I've played with my son, my oldest son, several times. He really loves the art. We have a good time playing out with different factions and like having more movement or more attack. It definitely like makes things feel different. Now there is a good amount of take that. You can punch people. You can, shut down their cards, although they get the consolation prize of getting the talisman. So, just be aware that it's not always going to be a nice game, but I think it still works well for what it's doing. And then the Cursed Throne, I don't know, it's fine. Honestly, my favorite stuff for the game is the base game. And then the small expansions, one of them adds the Shinigami, which I didn't get at all, and the Banished tokens. Those are fine. I don't need them, but it is nice to have more options in your builds. And then the Cursed Throne adds this thing, and the Rain cards, it's fine. Again, in 2-player, you can sometimes get your champion in like your shortest row and not really ever need to use them. Whereas I think in 3 and 4-player, it'll come into play more often. So this is going to be more interesting in 3 and 4 players where you're like actually all racing up to the top. But yeah, this is fine. Again, base game is definitely, I think, the best value. They do have a better rule book in Cursed Throne, so you can download that. But the other expansions, take or leave, I think they can be fun. There's another one that I didn't use where like you can recruit super cards and then you can like compete over them and steal them from each other. That can be fun, although it can be a little hectic trying to keep your guys around. So yeah, that your results may vary there. Now, let's get to the actual solo mode. It's a mixed bag. It works pretty well. You saw that like they competed over things well. They were pretty close to me. If I had not gotten my engine running, they would have certainly gotten their next Torii Gate in a turn or so. And that would have been, they would have had 2 more points and I would have had 2 fewer points. So it would have been a 4-point swing, which would have tied it, I think, with how things were. So, I don't know if they would have won in that case. But yeah, even at the medium difficulty, they can be challenging. If you go to the hard difficulty, which I've only tried once, they can definitely rock your world just because they're putting out so many guys so quickly. Now, some nitpicks. It is very random because, they just flip the random cards up. And if they get really useful abilities, that's a big difference from if they get, talismans or spirit, which for them is useless. Like, they don't do anything with it. Now, sure, in this game, by luck, talismans are worth something, but that is not the case in every game. This is a random card you get each time. So there's swinginess in which cards come out. If they tend to just get a ton in a few rows, and they'll hyperactivate those rows. If they get kind of a more balanced thing, then they'll be more spread out in the colors and maybe not be as effective. But that's all fine. I find normal is a pretty good challenge, and hard can really kick your butt, so it does what you want it to do. Now, what can be annoying is parsing through a few of their actions, primarily the move action, because again, I had to go on BGG to like get the clarification of where they move from. And again, it can be a little bit awkward. And really, I just wish there was like some official way to track where you've placed things. You saw me just putting down like the little spirit token. This is a complaint potentially for multiplayer too. Like once you're putting people on tons of islands, just kind of keeping track of where you already put people, but then you're moving them and stuff. You need to like track it with something like that. So that can be a little bit annoying. So yeah, like sometimes where they want to go and why they want to go there and when they're smart and when they're not. The Automa rules are, it's like a 2-page spread of rules, and then you can go on BGG. Now, the designer is very active, so I will give him full credit. He has like answered a lot of questions, but still I found it a little clunky to figure out what they would do. I'm not sure if I played this game correctly. I think I made most of the right choices and they seem to play pretty well, but maybe I did some things wrong. Maybe they would have been smarter or dumber in some cases. So yeah, it's a decent solo mode. It does the job. At the hardest difficulty, it will definitely give you a run for your money. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think 2-player is the best way to play the game, and the solo mode is only 2-player. So it's always going to be a slightly lesser than proposition, but it certainly works. Like if you're going to buy this game and be able to also play 3-player or 4-player or 5-player sometimes, and then, you know, maybe 2-player competitive and maybe solo sometimes, I think that's where this is going to be a great value for you. Beautiful components, fun, like little mix of area control and combo building. But yeah, if you're buying this like just to play solo or maybe just solo and 2-player, I don't know if I think there might be better games for doing this. I would say like keep the heroes out for the faction variety, and then maybe get some other area control game. One of my favorites is Tyrants of the Underdark or something like that. But yeah, but again, for 3, 4, 5-player competitive, really fun. Solo and 2-player, it's okay. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. That was Night Parade of 100 Yokai with some of the expansions thrown in. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I'm going to close it out with a big thank you to our highest tier Patreon supporters. That's Minkus, J. Willie MF, Steve Wren, and Pedro Lucas. So grateful to all of you and all our amazing supporters out there. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.